He never fired a single arrow. He never raised a sword. He sat, alone, on top of a city wall, playing music. And 150,000 soldiers turned around and walked away. That wasn't luck. That wasn't courage. That was reputation, working silently, like a weapon no one could see. Today, we're talking about Law 5 of the 48 Laws of Power. And if you think reputation is just about being liked, respected, or trusted by the right people, but here's what Robert Greene says that almost nobody is ready to hear. Reputation has nothing to do with what people think of you, because the real power of reputation isn't what it makes people feel, it's what it forces people to do before you've even walked into the room. Law 5 says this: so much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life. Greene doesn't say manage it. He doesn't say build it slowly. He says guard it with your life. That's not motivational language. That's a warning. The year is 228 AD. China is fracturing. Zhuge Liang, the greatest military strategist of the Three Kingdoms era, has just made a catastrophic mistake. He sent his best troops to the wrong location. And now, Sima Yi, commanding a force of 150,000 soldiers, is marching directly toward the city of Xisheng. Inside Xisheng, 2,500 soldiers, mostly old men, administrative clerks, no real defense. Zhuge Liang has two choices: run or die. He chose neither. He ordered every soldier off the streets. He threw the city gates open, completely, wide open. He sent 2 men outside to calmly sweep the road like it was an ordinary morning. And then Zhuge Liang himself climbed to the top of the city wall. He sat down in full view of the approaching army. He lit incense, and he began playing his guqin, a traditional Chinese string instrument. Peaceful, unhurried, almost bored. When Sima Yi's scouts returned and reported what they saw, an open city, a relaxed general making music, zero visible defense, Sima Yi halted the entire army. He stared at those open gates for a long time, and then he gave the order: full retreat. 150,000 soldiers walked away from a city defended by 2,500 men. Why? Because Sima Yi knew Zhuge Liang's reputation. Zhuge Liang never made mistakes. Every move was calculated 10 steps ahead. Every apparent weakness was a disguised trap. Every open door was bait. So when Sima Yi saw the open gates and heard the music, his mind didn't say easy victory. His mind said, this is a trap I cannot see yet. Zhuge Liang's reputation fought that battle. Not his soldiers, not his walls, not his weapons. His reputation. Here's where most people misread this story. They hear it and think Zhuge Liang was brave, or he was lucky Sima Yi was cautious. But that's not what happened. You expect the lesson to be about strategy, about tactics, about thinking under pressure. But the real lesson is this: Zhuge Liang spent years building deposits into his reputation so that in the single moment when he had nothing else, his reputation was enough to move 150,000 men. That's not luck. That's compound interest on every right decision he ever made. Robert Greene writes that reputation is the cornerstone of power. Lose it, and you are vulnerable to attack from all sides. But keep it, sharpen it, protect it, weaponize it, and it becomes a force that operates even when you're not present, even when you're sitting on a wall playing music with nothing left. Greene divides this law into 2 sides. Most people only see one. Side 1. Build the reputation relentlessly. Every action you take is a transaction. Every promise you keep or break, every room you walk into, every time you show up with integrity or with excuses, every word you say when you think no one important is watching. These are not neutral events. They are deposits or withdrawals into a reputation account that accumulates silently and pays dividends in ways you cannot predict or schedule. Zhuge Liang didn't win the empty fort battle on that day. He won it across a decade of perfect decisions that made Sima Yi believe he was incapable of weakness. Most people treat reputation as a side effect of the work they do. The powerful treat reputation as the work itself. Side 2. Destroy your enemy's reputation, surgically. This is the part Greene writes coldly, without apology. He says, make the doubts those around your enemy feel appear to be their own. You don't need to publicly humiliate someone to destroy them. You ask a question at the right moment. You let one mistake linger in the air without defending them. You plant uncertainty, and uncertainty left alone becomes conviction. Because reputation once cracked doesn't hold, it collapses. You've seen it. One exposed moment, one scandal, one public failure, and years of built reputation dissolve in days. That's not cruel. That's Law 5. Here's what modern psychology confirms and what Greene understood centuries before the research existed. People do not see you as you are. They see the story they have already built about you. And once that story is written in their mind, almost nothing you do will rewrite it. This is called the halo effect, a cognitive bias so deeply embedded in human psychology that even trained professionals cannot escape it. When your reputation is strong, people interpret your failures as temporary. Your mistakes become exceptions. Your silence becomes confidence. But when your reputation is weak or damaged, your successes become luck. Your effort becomes desperation. Your silence becomes guilt. The same action, two completely different realities. This is why Greene doesn't say improve your reputation. He says guard it, because reputation doesn't operate on logic. It operates on perception, and perception, once formed, becomes the lens through which every future action is filtered. Think about the people who hold real power in any social circle, any organization, any dynasty throughout history. They rarely had to prove themselves repeatedly. They built a reputation so precise, so consistent, so unshakable that it preceded them into every negotiation, every conflict, every room. And their enemies knew it. This is the darkest truth of Law 5. Reputation is not just your shield. In the hands of your enemies, your reputation becomes their weapon against you. A man with a reputation for anger can be provoked in public. A man with a reputation for greed can be baited into betraying allies. A man with a reputation for weakness will be tested endlessly by anyone who senses opportunity. Your reputation defines not just how the world sees you, it defines how the world attacks you. Greene understood this with surgical coldness. He wrote that the wise man shapes his reputation the way a sculptor shapes stone, deliberately, patiently, with complete awareness that the finished form will outlast every temporary circumstance. Because in the end, your body grows tired, your mind slows, your resources deplete. But a reputation built over years, built with discipline and intention, keeps working, keeps fighting, keeps opening doors. Even when you are sitting on a wall, playing music, with nothing left. Greene is specific about what happens when Law 5 is ignored. It's rarely the massive public failure that destroys people. It's the small wound left unattended, the rumor not addressed, the quality that slipped once
and became a pattern, the perception that formed quietly while you were focused elsewhere. Sima Yi didn't need proof that Zhuge Liang's open city was a trap. He just needed doubt. One seed of uncertainty, planted by years of reputation, was enough to turn 150,000 soldiers around. Your enemies don't need to destroy you loudly. They just need to make the people around you feel slightly uncertain. That's all it takes. Guard your reputation, not occasionally, not when it feels urgent, with your life. Here's the truth of power that no one teaches in a classroom. The most powerful people in any room rarely speak first. They don't need to. Their reputation already spoke.
It walked in ahead of them, rearranged the room, and settled the outcome before a single word was exchanged. That's what Law 5 is building toward. Not a moment of glory, not a single victory, a permanent presence. An invisible force that fights for you while you sleep, that opens doors you haven't touched yet, that intimidates opposition you haven't even met yet. Zhuge Liang sat on that wall, playing music, not because he was fearless, but because he had spent years building something that fear could not touch. Your reputation is either your greatest weapon or your greatest liability. There is no middle ground. There never was.